But back to our upcoming session, it will discuss the paradigm shifts shaping textile manufacturing and their impact on the development and production of advanced materials. So myself and Mark will moderate, and our panelists are Dominique Baldeck, Head of Sales at ITMA, and Dr. Marina Sonoya-Kosic, Director of New Business Development at Kelheim Fibers. Welcome, Dominique, and welcome, Marina.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us today. I guess, first of all, welcome. If you would, both, I guess, Marina, we'll start with you. Just, I guess, introduce yourselves and give us a broad overview of what you do.
So my name is Marina Sonoya-Kosic. I'm heading new business development at Kelheim Fibers. But from an experience point of view, I have more than 20 years fiber experience, working always in development of applications based off man-made cellulose fibers. And my approach is always to develop in dialogue with customer, in dialogue with supply chain, looking to the mega trends. And last but not least, now in Kelheim, we are trying to go the way of open innovation. And I'm really happy. Thanks for inviting me today to talk about these very exciting topics in connection to the technical textiles. I'm very happy to be here today. Thanks.
Thank you, Marina. And Dominique?
Yes, good morning. I am Dominique Baldeck. I am dealing with weaving mainly in all my career. And today I am particularly engaged into the newly created technical fabric department we have at ITMA called ITMA Tech. And I take care of all the activities, mainly sales into this technical textile field, which is developing very quickly. And not only in matter of, I would say, in quantities, but also developing quality-wise in many directions, and who looks to be one of the answers to our today main topic. I mean, all the green economy, and to make, let's say, our weaving activity much greener.
Well, thank you both. You are both very welcome. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Okay.
And
welcome.
we'll get straight into it. This panel has been brought together for us by ITMA. And I think for us, it's terrific to have both a machinery manufacturer and a fiber manufacturer on the same panel, because I'm suspecting we might have a lot of similarities, but perhaps some different perspectives as well on what is key to the development of our industry. And I wanted to kick off and just take a view, if you like, from a helicopter, look at the broad macro picture of our industry, and ask you what is a simple question, but probably quite a complicated answer. And that is, what do you see as the main drivers for our industry's development over the next 5 to 10 years? And Marina, if I could start with you from a fiber perspective.
Yeah, that's really, as you said, very simple question, but the answer could be very complicated. But nevertheless, I will try to summarize this question actually in 3 answers. And one of those is, of course, challenged by using of raw materials. We have quite kind of the revolution in textiles right now when it comes to usage of raw materials connected to the circularity, closed loop processes. And I think that is one of the most important, most challenging developments and factors and trends. We are going to work on that for the next few years, of 5 to hopefully in 5 years we will have quite interesting solution for that. break down to what is actually challenging in raw materials. Raw materials per se are here, but when it's come to the recycling and when it's come to the circularity, which is also a very big trend we are facing right now, and we are going to work on that for the also next few years, then challenging is also to harmonizing of ways to collect all of materials that could be recycled and reused in some of the processes, at least by fiber manufacturing. The second one, very important point and topic we are working on, but it's a never-ending story actually, and should stay as never-ending story, is performance of the fibers. We should not stop to think about how can we, on an efficient way, to add functionalities to the fibers, which can be seen after development in the end applications. That means we have to think about product design of the end application already by fiber development. That means in connect to the technical textiles to think about durability of basic products like fibers, because if we would have materials which are even more durable and more long-lasting, that we have also some kind of sustainability in this way as well, already by product design. There are many of the ways to add performance to the fibers, but it's something that will stay for the next year and should also stay. We don't need to stop to think about that. And the second or third very important point, also breakdown from the global trends, also connected to the textiles, and at least to the technical textiles and fibers behind, is end of life. Also, what we are facing right now in fashion industry, I think the next step for the 5 to 10 years will be also the topic in the technical textiles. That means 3 points: reuse, recycle, and upcycle. And at least for two of those topics, like reuse and upcycling, we have to connect to the other industries. That means the industrial technical applications, technical nonwovens should find a way to connect to the other industries to be able to offer the materials for, I don't know, packaging, agriculture, and topics like that, which are good enough and can be used after the materials are used for technical textiles. So I think that's our 3 important topics we are going to work very hard. We are working, but we are going to work very hard for the next 5 to 10 years as well.
Thank you. And Dominique, from a machinery perspective?
We are in the textile production chain. We are somewhere rather at the end of the chain, because we use fibers. These fibers are transformed into yarn, and with our machine work, we have to weave these yarns. So there are, I would say, two main aspects. On one side, we have to anticipate and to adapt our machinery and to adapt to these new yarns who are coming. I mean, mainly we speak about recycling, using of recycled fibers, and the properties of these fibers and the resultant yarn is not the same as yarn as a prime use yarn. This is one aspect. The second aspect, it goes, we are in a process where we use a lot of energy, resources of energy. We use also in the material, we have some, I would say, waste which is linked to the system, the weaving system. We create some waste, And of course, the two main drivers must be better using the energy, increasing the efficiency of the process, and second, of course, reducing as much as possible the waste we create in our process. I would say, as an if I go in a practical example, I can speak about one particular machine we have is the rapier machine, which is one of the major machine in the market. In the rapier machine, you have a waste which is created by the system at every supplier. And this waste is not something we can neglect because it represents, if I can say, approximately, it can go in the range of 10% of the weft use is waste, is transformed into waste. And we developed a system capable to reduce this waste from 10 to only 6 to 7. So it's not nothing. While we are speaking, each machine, we are speaking of tons of material we can save each year. We started in developing this, for example, in the denim sector. Why denim? Because denim, you have large quantities, but we are also extending our development. We are working very hard in implementing this device also for technical fabric, where the weft is more expensive, and to extend it at other field. This is an example. We, in the matter of reducing the consumption, energy consumption, we are chasing also all the friction in the mechanics and so on. There are a lot of developments in lubrication. And so we already achieved a reduction, which is in the range of 10 to 15% energy reduction in recent years. And we are targeting to go further. This also, if we speak about airjet machines, airjet machine reduce compressed air, and there also, if we reduced in the last years more than 40% of our consumption of compressed air, and this is a huge energy reduction. What I would say also, just to finish, you will see we focus on 3 weft insertion systems: projectile, airjets, and rapier. We do not focus today on we do not develop on airjets, on water jet machine, even if this water jet machine is one of the main machine in the market, if in matter of quantities, if you look the ITMA statistics. Because simply today we think that the use of water and spoiling a lot of water to use to weave is not the future. We think this. Voilà.
Thank you, Dominique. And you talked about you know, a really good, I guess, 10 to 15% energy reduction that you've achieved in recent years there, and you discussed you know, the need to upgrade machinery for these new fibers and things. Does digitalization play a role in this for you?
The digitalization is participating to this increase of efficiency, but mainly in the process. Because a lot of systems like these systems we are developing to save air, to save waste, could not be developed without the intensive use of digitalization. For instance, in airjet machine now, we already have on the market a device where you can you are setting some parameter of the machine fully automatically we are measuring some parameters, and according to this measure, we are setting the machine, even adapting the machine to the irregularities of the yarn. This is, for example, what we do in airjet. And this without digitalization could not be possible. But we are still working further into increasing the communication between machine and all the organization of the factory. It will be, I think, in future, it will go from the machine itself till the ERP of the company. This is one of the development axes. And the second, also very important to increase the process efficiency, is to optimize the settings of the machine. Because weaving, for those who don't know the process, you have many things to set, to adapt to each single styles. And these many things are usually, let's say, left to the experience of the operator. This is fine, but somewhere it could be improved by being more, let's say, accurate and more effective in the process.
Okay. And Marina, where does Kelheim see digitalization taking materials?
Yeah, as a fiber producer, we of course challenging in regard to the digitalization to produce and to create the fibers which can follow up all of those trends in digitalization when it comes to the machinery. As Dominic said, we need a fiber which can be run on the high-speed machines in airjet technology or on some kind of weaving machines, and also some kind of wet lathe or needle punch machines, which are really going or trying to do the way of digitalization. And we need then the raw materials which can be actually used for those kind of machines. And we as fiber producer, of course, have to do additional functionalization of the fibers to be able to provide a fiber which can be run on these machines. That's one aspect of digitalization I see as a fiber producer, but beyond that, I think the digitalization could be also very interesting for some regions. At least for Europe, could be interesting to go this way even more, because we know Europe is still a leading region when it's come to the technical textiles production, and I think the digitalization would help to go to the next step to stay competitive in this field of technical textiles. That's also one aspect I see that digitalization can help to enhance productivity, efficiency, and stay competitive. And of course, we should not forget for some technical applications in regard of protective or corporate, where the tailor-made solutions could be also very, very interesting. Probably some kinds of digital process would help to avoid compromising between performance and comfort for people who are wearing corporate or protective wear, and to be safe, but to stay also in comfort and look nice. Yeah.
Just, if I may, extending that answer and that thought process where you were talking about performance in technical textiles, we're hearing an awful lot at the moment about how composite materials are going to impact significantly on our industry in the coming years. Perhaps if I stay with you, Marina, perhaps you might want to comment on how this fits with Kelheim and your products.
Of course, it's to stay middle in the Europe as just a normal viscose fiber producer is no way. You have to think about to produce something very special, which can be used beyond textiles. because I think my personal thinking and my experience I had in the last years, textiles or fibers have a great opportunity right now. It's really right momentum to go to the other industries with performance of the fibers or textiles, nonwovens, which were actually hidden right now. And one of those applications or industries are for sure the composites. And I still think actually there are so big opportunity to develop that, to see. We don't know right now which actually potential is behind all of those composite stories, let's say it in this way. But I think the textiles, at least fibers, can add additional performance, which is important because we are talking about high performing materials, but also probably it's right now not a topic. The textiles and fibers can also add those sustainability issue in those products as well. So that's my actual opinion about composites, but composites is just one part. I see really that big picture where textiles and fibers can play a really excellent role to the other industries.
Completely agree. Dominique, from your perspective?
Composites is it used to be a subject mainly into when we spoke about aerospace, about let's say use of material which can bring extreme performance. Today, I agree with Marina, there is a lot of things in front of us. And the use of composite will be extended to, let's say, less prestigious use. It goes in car industry, it can go even to produce bicycle or whatever, or bags or anything. And there is a clear trend to use less, let's say, those high performance fiber like carbon fiber, which bring very enormous capabilities, but on the other hand, the item of sustainability is more difficult to fulfill since you cannot recycle carbon fiber very easily. While today you can see some natural fiber or artificial fiber which can bring high performance with some maybe drawbacks, but high performance. And I say, as an example, linen, jute, where you can produce some parts and you can recycle them, and you use also your CO2 footprint is much less. And we at ITMA, we are developing a lot, going into the anticipating this trend of use of some fiber which were till today mainly used for apparel or for home textiles.
Terrific.
Thank you, Dominique. And I guess just to finish off then, I guess my question for each of you, will start with you, Marina, is what machinery trends do you think that we'll see in the industry when it comes to ITMA 2023? What are you expecting over the next couple of years?
This is
Do you mean?
If I would, pardon, speaking with you. No, go ahead. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Okay. You mean which kind of trends I'm seeing for them?
What trends do you expect? What kind of evolution are you seeing in the industry?
Ah, that's a very interesting question. Thanks for that. As I said, I used to deal very, very hard in the past, also with technical textiles, but in the few last months, I also look to the fashion industry as well. And I recognized actually there's quite some kind of revolution there right now when it's come to circularity, using of bio-based materials, digitalization and things like that. But when we talk about technical textiles, I think we need evolution there, not a revolution, but evolution there, because that means for me 3 important actions. As I said, cross-industry collaboration, not to stay only by textiles, non-wovens, or at least composites and so, but just to be open and to look beyond what can be added function based on fibers and textiles in agriculture, in packaging industry, in medical, healthy, even more as now. And second, I think we will going to think or to challenge regulations in the next years, because if we want to have technical textiles, the industrial products which can perform but also be sustainable as well, we have to rethink the regulations of all of those applications, because I don't know if it's still important to have such a kind of high level regulations based on, in the past, on synthetic materials, because other materials were also not here and they're also not available. I think that will be also something we are going to deal with that in the next years when it comes to the technical application, connections to sustainability. Last but not least, I think the education will be also a very, very critical point in the next years, because at least in Europe, but also in general, we need a people who can look beyond, but still understand textiles and non-wovens processes and production. We need the people who can think about different business models in connection to the textiles. I think the education will be something also we are going to face for the next couple of years.
Absolutely, Marina. That's already, I guess, the skills gap is something we've touched a lot upon on the, in the last couple of days. So thank you for pointing that out. And Dominique, from your perspective.
In future, we see in the technical textile, as I already said, every month, I would say, we see a new application coming up, and we have to adapt, and if possible to anticipate also these new demands of the market. But it's clear that the main point will be always the possibility of recycle these products, and this is a big question mark, because as you know, composite has mainly 2 components. The fabric itself to strengthen the structure, and you have another is a matrix. And to separate both things, if you want to recycle, is not something easy. But this is another, from our point of view of the weaving machine, we need to have a machine very flexible, capable to weave weak yarn, to weave irregular yarn, to produce as less waste as possible. Is always the same trends as I was talking about before. These are the main point, and to produce as precisely as possible. And here are we coming to digitalization, which will allow the machinery to be more accurate in their production and in the output.
Dominic, Marina, thank you very much for your time today. And if I might say, you've echoed themes that we've been hearing over these 3 days of the Innovate Summit, themes such as sustainability and circularity, but also performance, difficult challenges like the skills gap. But what I see and hear from both of you in your very different stages in the value chain are companies that are looking at innovation to solve these challenges.
Exactly.
And the continued innovation from across our industry is what remains absolutely vital. And it was great to hear your thoughts on what we might expect to see come the ITMA 2023 event in Milan. So we'll very much look forward to that and seeing what is on show. So that's it for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver.
Thank you very much indeed.